Everyone, welcome back to another video. So my name is Rupkata Bhattacharjee and you're watching my channel. And today I am going to talk about Iron Widow by Xiran Jay Zhao. So I may be pronouncing the names of the author and the characters wrong. Please forgive me, I have trouble pronouncing even Indian names since I am Indian. And feel free to correct me in the comment section because I am probably pronouncing them wrong. There was no pronunciation guide in the book, and I searched for the pronunciations online, and I'm just pronouncing it how the robots online pronounce it as. So let's talk about Iron Widow. I'll talk about all the pros, the cons, what I liked, what I disliked about this book throughout this video. So our main character, Wu Zetian, who is based on China's only female emperor, firstly, Girlbosses her way into becoming a concubine for the pilot who killed her sister, gaslights her way into making them not kill her, and gatekeeps her way into becoming one of the best pilots that the country has ever seen. Now, this book's concept is widely interesting. It says it's Handmaid's Tale meets the Pacific Rim. I don't know what the Pacific Rim is, but I know what the Handmaid's Tale is. I actually bought the book recently, and before we go off topic, I'll just continue this video. Alright then, where was I? So Wu Zetian lives in Huaxia. Huaxia is a China-inspired dystopian world where women are treated miserably. Wu Zetian belongs to a family which is below middle class, living under the poverty line, you could say. And in this world, in Huaxia, there are giant alien creatures that are attacking the humans, and they have taken control of an entire territory, entire district, and anytime these creatures can attack the civilians as well. So the people of Huaxia have pilots, boy pilots, who channel these huge robot-like things to take down these alien creatures. But to do so, they need the power of a female concubine, and more often than not, these concubines die supplying their power to the pilot. And the pilots don't care, because women in Huaxia are irreplaceable. You can get more and more and more, and who cares, right? Well, Zetian does, because one of the best pilots, the hero pilots of Huaxia, has murdered her sister, and she is going to take revenge. And when Zetian kills that pilot through a mental bond between pilots and their female concubines, she is known as the feared Iron Widow, a group of women who can actually be present in the headspace of that mental bond between the pilots and their concubines and take charge of it and kill the pilots themselves. So to stop Zetian from doing more damage, they paired her up with the devil, or the Iron Devil, the man who killed his entire family, Li Shimin. Now you know how this sounds, probably. Enemies to lovers, of course. And overall, it was quite an interesting book. It was entertaining. I'll give it one of the most entertaining books that I have read this year. But was it a good book? Yeah, it kind of was. But was it something that I really recommend? Not at all. I felt like the characters in the book were underdeveloped, one-dimensional. The book was fast-paced, but the author was struggling to place it somewhere between high fantasy or low fantasy. And first, let's talk about what I liked. The plot. A girl trying to take revenge from her sister's murderer, sign me up for it. I probably won't do it for my sibling, but I'll have fun reading someone who loves their sibling so much. I've really liked reading about the misogynistic world it was, how women were suffering in it, and how Zetian was so determined to change everything about this world. The plot of the book was simple, one range, without any subplots. I absolutely loved the concept of this book. The sci-fi elements with the dystopian elements together formed a perfect blend. That is something that any fans of the sci-fi genre will definitely enjoy. And since it's YA as well, it's even more enjoyable. What I liked next were the characters. Li Shimin, who I mentioned, the Iron Devil, Zetian herself to some extent, and another character, Zetian's childhood friend, Yizi Gao Yizi, as the family name comes first in Chinese. Gao Yizi were all wonderful characters, each with their own personality and their own motives. I felt like all the characters in this book had a distinct voice, different motives, and somehow kept the story entertaining as it went. The dynamics between the three characters were really well written, and I really enjoyed reading it. I feel like I'm overusing the word really, but we'll just ignore that because my vocabulary reduces to zero when I'm making a video. Next, let's talk about the pacing of the book. The book was very fast paced and it's perfect to get you out of a reading slump. I finished reading Iron Widow, which is 350 pages on my mobile, in a day and a half, and it was absolutely wonderful. The pacing was good, the author well managed to make it fast paced as well as including important scenes that further plot development and character development. This was a pretty much character driven book and not a plot driven book, so if you're not a fan of character driven books, yeah, I'll not recommend it to you. I like plot driven books better as well, so this was not a personal favorite of mine. Next, let's talk about the things that I did not like, which are considerably a bit more than the things that I actually liked. The world building. The world building is pretty much not there. We come to learn about Huaxia and how the alien races are attacking our civilians, but I felt like a lot of concepts in this book were under-explained. We were not explained how the concept of ki or chi, as it is pronounced, works. We were not explained how the robots, the giant things that the men control work, or how even the bond between the male and the female pilot work until the last 20 pages of this book, and I felt it was quite annoying because as a reader I enjoy being explained everything part by part, of course. And without this explanation, the book barely makes sense because I don't know what the words ki or chi mean. I don't know where Huaxia is. I don't know if it's even these aliens, how they are or how they live. All the concepts in this are under explained. The world building is practically non-existent because I cannot remember off the top of my head a name of any other place than Huaxia. We are not given insights into how the government system works except that it's very patriarchal and misogynistic. We are not explained how the trade system works or practically anything. It is explained in this book, which I get to some point because we are learning this from the point of view of a peasant girl, Wu Zetian, who herself is not educated about many of these concepts, but without them this book is barely sensible, I guess. Next up, what I hated was the character herself, the titular character, the Iron Widow, Wu Zetian. Now, hated is a very strong word. I felt like she had her flaws, like she had her, I do not remember the opposite of flaws. She had her strong points and she had her wrong points as well, and her flaws considerably outweigh the good things about her. So Wu Zetian is a pretty straightforward girl. She has one straight motive. She wants to take revenge from her sister's murderer and then she wants to live. But over the plot, she becomes somewhat of a Mary Sue. Every plan of her is executed perfectly. Whatever she wants to do, it's done, and whatever she says ends up being true. Even people who are far more intelligent than her get undermined by her, even though I felt like Wu Zetian is not a very strong character to carry the whole plot of this book. She is definitely one interesting character to read about, but a strong one, not really, and obviously not a well-written one. Wu Zetian is one-dimensional. She had one motive through the entirety of the story. She has little to no character development, and we don't learn any new things about her than we knew in the beginning of the book. I felt like Zetian's character was really one of the aspects of the book that were unlikable. I mean, I am all up for unlikable woman characters, but Zetian's character was not only unlikable, but she did not have any other traits than being extremely arrogant, extremely smart, and well, that's that. She also did not have any well fleshed out character development, well fleshed out motives for her character. Now, I get it, she wants to murder her sister's murderer, and she originally thought that after doing so she would die, but she didn't and she lived. And it started getting weirder and weirder because the character at the beginning of the book was still the same even after going through extremely traumatic moments. And one of the most irritating thing was that Zetian goes through literally no losses through the book. Her wins are her wins, of course, but her losses, they just don't matter because she never loses. Every plan she makes is perfect. Even people who are far more intelligent than her, their plans don't work and they listen to her. which is extremely annoying because it seems like every character she has met like a day ago agrees with her. The plot twists in this book was something that is predictable. I predicted the plot twist in 20 chapters or so. I mean, I don't remember how many chapters are there, but before 50% of this book, I started guessing the plot twist, and at the end, it was, well, obviously there. And it's a very common plot twist too, because I have seen at least 12 other sci-fi movies do the same plot twist. Any movie with alien has probably done this plot twist before. I was expecting something different from this book, something special, and I did not get it. Instead, what I got was a plot that did not have strong characters to lead it. Characters that were interesting to read about did not go through any character development, and overall our main character just gets and does what they want and end up being a Mary Sue. So my rating for this book is 3 stars. It was definitely enjoyable, a fast-paced, a good read, and I am looking forward to the sequel which comes out next year, I believe. And I felt like if you're in mood for a fast-paced sci-fi book, you'll totally enjoy reading Iron Widow by Xiran Jay Zhao. But for me, it was really average and not something special. So this was it for today. Thank you for watching. Be safe during this pandemic, and goodbye. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.